Hi guys. So we're making our third dish. It's traditionally it's Shakshouka. Although we're not making the traditional one, we're making a what we have in our garden kind of thing. Cause like with this dish, it's very how do you say this? It's very customizable. You can work with what you have in your garden, with what you have in your kitchen. But the basic principle is it has to have tomatoes and eggs. That's pretty much it. It's a very good breakfast dish. So I hope you guys enjoy. Let's get started. Okay, so we're gonna start with the shakshuka. First, we're gonna start with we're gonna saute our onions and garlic till they're not really darkened, more of like a translucent color on the onions and fragrant on the garlic. So we add our olive oil, about 2 tablespoons, I guess. And then we add our onions. We used like 4 small onions. You don't have to chop them up, like you don't have to mince it, because it's all gonna get disintegrated in the shakshuka in the cooking process of the tomatoes. So you add your onions, and then you just cook it until it's slightly translucent. It's basically just sauteing onions. We're gonna saute some garlic, and then we're gonna add some oregano, and then we're gonna cook our tomatoes down until it becomes I guess syrupy in a way. So traditional shakshuka, we use fresh tomatoes. We thin them, we boil them in a little bit of water for about a minute, and then we peel them. But since we're working I guess we're working more accessible here, more quick, more convenient. We're gonna be using canned tinned tomatoes, already peeled. It's already softened a bit. So yeah. So I guess the tomatoes, you wanna stick with this. Just a little broken down sugars, slightly translucent. Shimmery. Then we add our garlic. So we used about half a head of garlic for this because you can never go wrong with garlic. Oregano. So you just want to cook your garlic a bit. You don't want to brown them. You don't want to give them color. Just want to cook it until you can smell I guess like the processing of the chemicals in the garlic. And then we add our tomatoes. So you want to crush the tomatoes. Be sure to wash your hands before you do this. Crush it. So what's happening is the water from the tomato is actually deglazing the pan, getting all the flavor from that onion, that garlic, fresh tomatoes. You have to work with your hands here. We're using like a whole can of tomatoes for this because we need a lot of tomatoes. It's basically the foundation of the dish. Crush it well. Alright, so this is pretty much it after like about 10 minutes or 15 minutes. We're pretty much done with the tomatoes. Now we want to crack our eggs inside. So how we do it is okay, we flatten it out a bit, distribute the tomatoes, and then we make little wells inside. And then once you make a well, like this well right here, you crack your eggs in it. So always crack on a flat surface. Oh no! So yeah. Then just keep adding eggs to wells. So this size of a pan, probably 5 eggs total in the dish, and one in the center. There we go. So once you do this, you just cover it so that the eggs will set. Once the eggs are set, I mean the whites are set, it's good to go. You eat it. You top it off with some fresh basil, pepper, salt, and then you eat it with some bread. This is the perfect breakfast because what people would usually do, they do the mise en place for it. They get the tomatoes, the onions, they simmer it while they're taking a bath, and then after they take a bath, they come back to it. They add the eggs, cover it for a bit, and then ready to serve for the whole family. Because 5 eggs, 5 people, perfect for the whole family. So the eggs will cook for, I guess, 5 minutes or so, depending on your heat, depending on the size of your pan. But that's roughly the time it takes to cook the eggs. So let's just wait for a bit for the eggs. So at this point, you want to add your herbs. Me, I have fresh oregano growing in the garden, so I'm using oregano. We're gonna add the basil later on, so just leave it there. So at this point, you want to season it with whatever you want in the tomato dish. So right now, I'm gonna be using some salt, some pepper, and again we're using pink salt, and we're using the 3 blend pepper because flavor is nice, color is nice. You want that in the dish. If we're using canned tomatoes, you have like juices inside. We're using 28 ounces of canned tomatoes, so you just want to add a little bit of the juices inside so that it doesn't get too thick. You don't want that to happen. So yeah, let's add some salt. Again, this is basically your preference. Yeah, you can add as much as you want, as little as you want. Up to you. It's your dish. Since this dish is a little bare, you want as much flavor as you can with what you're adding. Because it's just tomatoes and eggs. Add our pepper. Traditionally, Shakshouka is very spicy because it's eaten by people in the Middle East, Jewish people, but since we're Filipinos, I mean, personally I don't like too much spicy, so just pepper is good for me. Traditionally they put a lot of peppers, red peppers, and they'd add cayenne to the mix, but I like it like this. Up to you, if you want to add whatever you want, go ahead. It's a very flexible dish. I guess we can add a little basil for the flavor. Later we're adding fresh basil on top. So yeah, just mix it a bit. So we're gonna reduce this for about 10-20 minutes depending on your fire, depending on how much tomatoes you use. But basically, what we're gonna show you later what it's supposed to look like, and actually, as I said, it's very flexible. So up to you on what consistency you want, as long as you're happy with it and you can cook the eggs in it. So we'll be back in a couple of minutes. Yeah. So once the whites are set, it's good to go. Turn off the heat. Spread that over. And the beauty of this dish, you can actually add some whole basil leaves to that if you want. If you want that chunky basil experience. the beauty of this dish, that's why a lot of people cook it for breakfast, is that you eat it like this. No need to put it on a plate. Get a towel underneath, and then just put it on the table and just eat it, and serve it to the whole family. An important thing to note is that you want the whites to be set, but the yolks to be a little runny still. You want it to, when you eat it, the yolks will still run on the plate. So this is our version of shakshuka. It's I don't know if it's Italian or whatever, but like this is what I have in my garden. This is what I have in my house. So this is what I'm working with, and you can work with some pepper here. Just put it on top. After all that, and it's good to go. So thank you for watching. This is our version of shakshuka. I hope you try it at home. It's pretty simple. Have it for breakfast. Eat it with your family. It's pretty convenient and easy. It's pretty tasty as well. So hope you guys enjoy. That's pretty much it.